Power of sale listings in the GTA have exploded. It's over 200% in the past year. Right now, there are over 1,000 power of sale listings across the GTA, and this is just on the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. The number could be much higher if you combine other real estate boards across Canada. Now, behind every one of these listings is a homeowner who hit a financial wall, and most didn't see it coming until it was too late. In this video, I'll break down what's driving the surge, what it means for the homeowners, and what exactly homeowners can do before the banks step in. Now, let's be clear, this spike in power of sale listing isn't because of bank renewals or rate hikes anymore. So why are we suddenly seeing so many power of sales popping up all over the GTA? Well, there could be a lot of reasons, but the main reason is the private lender fallout. So these aren't traditional bank clients. The majority of the current power of sale homes are from private lenders. These lenders don't have the same flexibility as the big banks, okay? If your equity disappears or disappeared, they will not renew your mortgage, and that's exactly what's happening. Many of these homeowners bought during the peak $2 million homes that are now worth closer to $1.3 million. There's no leverage left for the lender to protect their loan. And when that private mortgage matures, the math stops working and the property goes straight to power of sale. That's why we see a lot of these power of sales that's happening, it's their private lenders. You know, a lot of these homeowners, they were looking for homes and they bought something for $2 million, went to the bank. The bank's like, yep, your income doesn't check out. We're not going to give you a mortgage. Their mortgage agent said, well, we can get you a private. We'll get you a private for 12 months, 18 months max. By then, your property value is going to go up by another $300,000. We'll refinance it and we'll take you to a lender. But that's not what's happening. The opposite is happening. Homeowners are losing value, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, and obviously, if you have a private loan, they're never going to renew it. They're going to call that loan and say, "Nope, sorry, can't do it. We're going to put it on power of sale unless you can come up with the money." Okay. Now, reason number two: job loss and income shock. Most homeowners will do anything to keep their house. They will skip credit card payments, delay a car loan, even pick up a second job. But when that job disappears, there's no backup plan. With layoffs quietly increasing across tech, logistics, and even construction, more households are facing that brutal moment. No income, no refinancing option, and no runway. That's what these power of sales listings really represent. Not people giving up, but people who run out of financial oxygen. So what actually happens when a homeowner falls behind and the lender decides to trigger a power of sale? Okay, because there's a lot of misconception. People talk about foreclosures. We don't have foreclosures in Canada, okay, specifically in Ontario. But in Ontario, it's a surprisingly quick process. Once you miss a payment and default, the lender has to wait just 15 days before they can issue what's called a notice of sale. That's your formal warning, okay? And from there, you usually get about 35 days to catch up. That's known as the redemption period. Your last chance to make things right. If the arrears, legal fees, and costs aren't paid within that window, the lender now can move ahead and list that property. Usually on MLS with a realtor, what they consider to be a fair market value. They will do sometimes one, but most of the time two appraisal. They'll come up with an amount and they will list the property. But here's the part most people don't realize. Until that property is actually sold, the homeowner still owns the property. The lender isn't taking the title. They're exercising their legal right to sell on your behalf to recover the debt. Once the sale closes, the lender takes what's owed plus cost, and anything left over goes back to the homeowner. But if the sale price doesn't cover everything, the borrower still owes the shortfall, and that's when things can get ugly real fast. Again, I want to clear something up. We don't have foreclosures in Ontario, okay? Because I get people all the time asking, can you send me foreclosures? Can you send me foreclosures? We don't have foreclosures. You're not going to buy a house penny on the dollar. That's not going to happen yet. In US, foreclosure means banks will take ownership of the house and sell the property at auction. Here in Ontario, the lender never actually takes the title. It's called power of sale, and it's designed to move fast and avoid court. The lender's job is to sell at a fair market value, not at a discount. Okay. In fact, by law, they have to show that the sale price is reasonable compared to similar homes sold within that area. But here's what's really happening, because most power of sale listings aren't marketed properly. There's no staging, there's no video, there's no exposure. They'll just list it on MLS, okay? They do end up selling for less. They're often listed quietly on MLS, sold as is, and buyers assume there's a problem with the property because you're buying as is, which means there's no guarantee if your dishwasher is not working, if the house is going to be in the same state once you buy it. None of that. And you sign on every single part of that. On actual agreement of purchase and sale, there's so many different clauses that are pre-printed. The lender will literally cross everything out, and you have to initial and saying, yes, I assume responsibility, I'm going to buy this house, and it's okay if it's not the same. Okay, so what happens is these listings, they tend to stay in the market for a while, but the bank is paying for everything while the power of sale is going on. They're paying for utilities, taxes, maintenance, pretty much every cost associated with owning a house. So they will try to sell the property as quickly as possible because it is costing them money. Their job is to recoup their losses as soon as possible. So they will drop the price aggressively if the property is not getting showings or offers. And just like that, every power of sale that closes below market value quietly resets the prices in that area and becomes the new benchmark price. That's what's hurting the regular sellers who are not in any kind of stress, but the last power of sale on their street sat the new price in that pocket or that neighborhood. And that's what's happening. A lot of these homes, you'll see, I saw a townhouse a couple of months ago listed for $985, then dropped to $950, then $900. I knew it was right away, it was power of sale. Now it's listed around $820,000. So there's a $150,000 price difference, and still it hasn't sold. So when that property ends up selling, let's say for $720, right? It's a big townhouse. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-washroom townhouse. Trust me, it's worth a lot more than $720. It's worth around $845, $850. But with that, if that ends up selling for a lot less than what the benchmark price is for that neighborhood, then every other seller in that street, they're kind of, stuck because they're screwed with that price point. But another interesting factor is that not every distressed sale shows up as a power of sale. Across the GTA right now, roughly 1 in 5 property for sale, or what I call stressed seller. Sellers who are not technically in default but are seconds away from it. They're families who bought it in the height of 21 or 22, saw their equity vanish, and now they realize they will not be able to keep up with the higher cost, mortgage, second loan, or day-to-day living. The label might just say for sale, but behind it, they're usually stress, job loss, layoff, private mortgage, maturing with no refinancing option, credit cards maxed out, or simply the cost of living eating every spare dollar. Now, these sellers aren't testing the market. They're trying to get ahead of the power of sale before it hits. And that's what's quietly shaping the market as well. Not panic selling, but survival selling. Every few weeks, I get a call from a homeowner who says, well, I just got a letter from the bank. They're putting my house on power of sale. What can I do? And I'll be honest, by the time you receive that letter, it's way too late. The lender's lawyer is already involved. There's legal fees piling up. Your control over the sale is gone. Okay, that call needed to happen 3-6 months ago. So here's what you should be doing before it gets to that point. Step 1, call your bank before they call you. Be honest about your situation, okay? Because I have clients and I've told them, call your bank and ask them for more time. Extend your amortization. Do whatever you need to do to get more time from the bank. If you reach out to them early, most banks will try to help. Okay, they can sometimes extend your amortization, defer a payment, or move one of the payments at the end of the term. Banks are not in the business of taking your home. It does not make any business sense to them. Okay, they don't make money if they take your house. They will end up losing a lot more money because if you keep that house, let's say for another 25 years, they will end up making probably $500,000-$600,000 in interest payment alone. So why would they take your house? So call your bank as soon as possible. Step 2, talk to a mortgage advisor or a broker who understands restructuring. Sometimes a refinance or even a short-term private solution can buy you some breathing room, only if you act before you're in default. And lastly, if it's clear that your home is no longer affordable, sell before the bank does. If you're in negative cash flow, paying $1,500 out of your pocket, hoping that the market is going to recover next year, and then you're going to sell, you will be disappointed. You will end up losing a lot more than what you could lose today, because I feel like in the next 6 months, prices will go down. It's not going to recover. It's not going to go up. So what are you waiting for? If you are in a negative cash flow, you need to prepare your house, your condo, whatever it is, to sell before the bank comes and, triggers a power of sale. Because every cost, the legal fees, the commissions, interest, expenses to carry that house come straight out of your equity. Selling proactively lets you control the price, the presentation, the timeline. But once that notice hits your mailbox, your options are very limited. The goal is to never let it get to that letter. Again, power of sale isn't just a legal process, it's a warning sign that there are so many homeowners running out of financial oxygen. Right now, as I said, there are over 1,000 power of sales, including the freehold and the condos across the GTA. Hundreds of these sellers are under duress across the GTA. I think the next few months will decide who keeps control and who will give up. Now, if you're feeling the pressure, maybe your payments are tight, your renewal's coming up, or you're juggling a second mortgage, don't wait for that letter from the bank, okay? You need to stay ahead of this, because once your letter shows up, it's a warning sign and it's end of your option. I hope this gives you some clarity, and if you are, or if you know someone who could potentially be going through the power of sale process, please share and like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Fawad Nasari. I'll see you in the next video.